Hi, Mary O'Malley here again with the 6th video on my new book, What's in the Way is the Way, the transforming power of trusting your life, all of it. Now in the last video I said, okay, now it's time to begin to explore the phenomenal power of curiosity. Curiosity is the ability to relate to rather than from what we're experiencing. But we're not used to that. We're not used to that. We're used to managing, fixing, getting rid of, being ashamed of, or just thinking about our experience. We're not used to having a direct experience of what we are experiencing, especially the states that we've run away from our whole lives, and thus they manage us from underneath our everyday awareness. And so I decided that before we do the video on curiosity, we need to go back and explore more Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is what I call the carrot in front of the donkey. Chapter 2 explores the 5 qualities of the meadow. What is it like when you come out of your cloud bank and come back into the meadow of your being? And we need to do that because on some level we're afraid of letting go of all of this control and fixing and changing and rearranging that is our lives, to really fully being intimate with ourselves and with life. And so the 5 qualities are flow, spaciousness, light, love, and stillness. And so flow, everything flows in life. You know, the rivers flow from the ocean, your blood flows, through your body, the day flows into night, winter flows into spring. And yet we are cut off from that flow. And there is such a longing to come back into the flow of life, and yes, there's the fear of it. We have been taught to control life. We've been taught to resist life, and that is our suffering. And to come back to trust life. You may not always understand it, you may not always like it, but to stay open to this flow takes you out of the world of suffering, which is resistance to the flow. The second quality is spaciousness. And we took a look at a little science there to see how much the universe loves spaciousness. Just think, I can't even remember how many trillions of miles it is to even just the next star, let alone the next galaxy. And then we took it inside of ourselves and saw that we are made up of atoms that make up molecules that make up cells, and every single atom is made up of mainly space. So you are space. And yes, we don't perceive ourselves that way. This chair is energy. It is mainly space. But we, in our limited understanding, see it as solid. And so to begin to know this spaciousness, you know what it's like. Remember when you fell in love and just everything was okay. I mean, she, did the toothpaste tube from the bottom of it. Didn't bother you at all. You were wide open to life. And then, of course, a year later, you hate the fact that she does the toothpaste tube from the bottom. But to just get that sense of what it would be like to be so spacious that every thought, feeling, sensation would dance right through you. You wouldn't get hooked. You wouldn't get caught into the world of struggle. The third quality is light. And again, back to science. David Bohm, the grandfather of quantum physics, says matter is an afterthought in a world made out of light. And so you are light. Think of that day when everything was just so wonderful in your life. You knew delight of the light. You even probably felt a glow in your body, and that's when we let go of the constriction and come back into the energy, into the light, into the radiance that we truly are. That's our natural state. And we can know happiness at times. Happiness is getting what you want. But joy is the ability to be with what is. And this is what opens us up back into the field of light, the field of delight that we really are. The fourth quality is love, and I think the best way to describe that is that this quality of light, its essence is love. And Eben Alexander, the man I spoke about in the last video, who wrote Proof of Heaven, who is a neuroscientist, a neurosurgeon, and was in a coma for 7 days, and what happened to him there was that he left the denseness of this body-mind and really saw what is at the essence of life. And when asked what it was, he said, well, it's very hard to put into words. But he said, I would boil it down to just one word, and that is love. He said it's the incomprehensible, beautiful truth of everything that has ever existed or ever will exist. And yet, we don't experience this. We don't see that the sun is love, that the wind is love, that we are loved and cherished always. Just imagine what it would be like to come back to that knowing. And of course, the last quality is stillness. The essence of your being is stillness. If you're in a room where you can look out the window, see trees and cars and birds and flowers and clouds, all of them, all of this vast moving form has come out of a ground of stillness. And that stillness is within you. And that stillness, when we can see through the cloud bank of struggle and drop into this vast sea of stillness that is within us, that is when we make contact with the wisdom at the heart of life. So these are the 5 qualities of the meadow of your being. These are the 5 qualities that you come home to as you see through the cloud bank of your struggle enough so you don't get hooked. And instead, you come back right here to this moment. For this is the only moment that matters in your whole life. This is the moment that is the doorway back into the meadow. Do you have the courage? Do you have the willingness to relate to your cloud bank of struggle so you can see through it and come back to life? And as you do it, as I do this, as more and more of us come back to life, to a direct living experience of life, our world will be healed. Thank you.